great shape.
All
Good.
right.
You're going to be in great shape for surgery. Um, Kelly, you're going to be in great shape to go see your grandkids. Rebecca, we're moving toward your goals. We're getting things moving in the right direction. We're losing weight for summer. We're decreasing inflammation so you can go on your vacations and have more energy, have better mobility. And the whole idea is, okay, so what then should I do as we come to, we're going to do one more week of phase two, and then I want you all to take the online quiz again. Let me show that to you real quick. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Share. So when you go back to Go Trim, hopefully some of you watched the two videos I gave you for homework. When you go back to Go Trim, like before you leave for your vacation, Kelly, you could go out and take the weight loss profile again. And it might say now, while you're gone, maybe we could move to a less restrictive program, Kelly, like Sure and Steady. And the questionnaire will give that to you. And Sure and Steady is going to have more protein. It's going to have a wider gate for meats, especially beef. And it's going to talk about um, widening the gate for some starches, some whole grains, and some approved sweeteners. Okay, so maybe while you're on vacation, this might be what you want to move to so that you have a little bit more room to do some of these things. So, what we're choosing to do is this would be our truly second week of phase two. And some of you may be feeling like, maybe I'm not seeing weight loss quick enough, or you're having some specific issues. So, today we want to talk about some supplements that can help improve your metabolism or get you over some stumbling blocks. And so, to do that, we're going to the resources, to the educational videos. And the educational video, if you've done your homework, this one. Now we're going to talk about this week three, unlock your metabolism. And you know what? You can be a good student and go ahead and watch more of these ahead of time. This is a 12-week curriculum. We're not going to be able to go through all of them. We are going to talk about this one, managing stress, because that's a huge issue as we get more mature in our years and we have more family members and more cares that we carry. A lot of times, stress can be the issue that is keeping us from getting to where we want in our goals because stress increases a hormone called cortisol, and cortisol causes us not to build muscle and to gain fat around our waist. So, I'm going to play this video quick. And then we're going to talk about some supplements. If you want to take some notes, you sure can.
Imagine a body that burns calories efficiently, even when you're resting, a metabolism that works with you, not against you. This isn't just a dream, it's a reality you can achieve with the Go Trim system. Your journey to a better metabolism starts now. Improving your metabolism takes time, but every step brings you closer to a body that's more efficient and resilient. The Go Trim program was designed to help you unlock this potential by understanding and balancing the key hormones that impact your weight and metabolism. This isn't just about losing weight, it's about creating lasting change that supports your overall health and well-being. Your metabolic rate isn't just a number, it's a reflection of your unique body and life story. Age, stress, and even your diet history shape your metabolism. But no matter where you're starting, the Go Trim system gives you the tools to take control. By focusing on the three key weight loss hormones, leptin, ghrelin, and cortisol, we can help you reset your metabolism for better thyroid and adrenal function and a healthier, happier you. Ghrelin, often called the hunger hormone, can trick your body into storing fat instead of burning it. Depending on factors like sleep quality and your weight loss needs, ghrelin levels may stay high even when your body doesn't need energy. This can lead to storing excess fuel as fat, but by understanding how factors like sleep and diet influence ghrelin, you can turn the tables. Imagine having the power to control your hunger and, with it, your weight. Leptin is like the brakes on your appetite, signaling when you're full. But if your body isn't sensitive to leptin, it's like driving without brakes. You just keep going until it's too late. People who struggle with their weight often need more food to feel full compared to those with a normal weight. The Go Trim system helps you regain that sensitivity through a low glycemic impact eating plan, targeted supplementation, and healthy sleep habits, so you can stop when you've had enough and avoid overeating. Enhancing leptin sensitivity is a primary focus of the Go Trim system because the more body fat you have, the less sensitive you are to this hormone. Think of it this way: if you accidentally touch a hot stove, you want to have enough sensation in your fingertips to quickly pull away and avoid getting burned. When we aren't sensitive to leptin due to excess body fat, it's like touching the hot stove but not realizing it. Your body doesn't recognize that it's full until you've overeaten, often choosing unhealthy foods simply because you still feel hungry. Within the Go Trim system, by eating low glycemic foods, using leptin-supporting botanicals, and getting a good night's sleep, you can begin to repair your leptin metabolism. Leptin works in conjunction with other hormones, including thyroid hormones, cortisol, and insulin, to help your body determine hunger and how quickly to burn the food you eat. As leptin sensitivity improves with weight loss, so too does sensitivity to hormones that support healthy sleep. We live in a hyper-stimulated world, often facing constant stressors and demands. This heightened arousal can lead to cortisol levels outside of healthy ranges, which in turn may contribute to weight gain, especially around the hips, thighs, and midsection. Elevated cortisol not only impacts body weight, but can also compromise muscle endurance, physical performance, and even the immune system, while also disrupting quality sleep. But by addressing stress, both emotional and physical, we can support better thyroid function and overall health. The thyroid is often referred to as the gland of healthy metabolism and weight regulation. While its role is more complex, it's essential to understand that thyroid performance is influenced by the health of your stress response, body composition, and sex hormone balance. When your thyroid slows down, everything else does too. So supporting thyroid function is key to maintaining a healthy weight. Even with your best efforts, it can sometimes feel like weight and muscle changes are happening too slowly. But consistency is critical to achieving your goals. Here's what you can do. Focus on eating a low glycemic impact diet. This doesn't just support overall metabolism, it's key to feeling full and energized. A low glycemic impact diet includes plenty of lean protein, fresh, colorful vegetables, and healthy fats. Make sure you're eating enough. One of the biggest mistakes in weight loss is not eating enough. Keep your protein intake sufficient for your activity level, as protein helps manage appetite. Eat slowly to support digestion and meal satisfaction. Incorporate flavorful foods and spices like hot peppers, ginger, garlic, mustard, cinnamon, and vinegar into your meals. Exercising regularly is essential. Even 10 minutes of movement a day can be beneficial, leading to more activity and increased intensity over time. Choose exercises you enjoy and challenge yourself regularly. You can easily increase the intensity of any exercise to continue progressing. However, remember that everyone starts at different levels. It's not recommended to push yourself to the point of injury, and always consult your healthcare provider before beginning any exercise program. Supporting your efforts with supplementation can make a significant difference. While you work on your metabolism, allow supplementation to support your efforts. Follow your menu plan guidelines and drink plenty of water. Enjoy a cup of coffee at breakfast if you like, but focus on staying hydrated with water throughout the day. Remember, achieving a balanced metabolism is a journey. By focusing on key hormones, consistent healthy habits, and supportive supplementation, you can set the stage for long-term success. It's about making sustainable changes that support not only your weight loss goals, but also your overall health and well-being. Stay patient, stay committed, and trust the process. Your body will thank you for it.
Okay, so that was an introduction to some of the hormones that we're going to talk about now to get your metabolism into the shape it needs to be. For your homework, you can go through and watch. This Nutrition Mastering Your Metabolism is a good one. That's one you can watch for your homework. So let me go back to this page. Some of you are already using, which is great, our Go Trim nutrition shakes. During the phase two, we talk about using two of these a day for those of you who can. So, anyone who has a high allergy to whey, these are a whey-based shake. I have given you the option, those of you I know, to use the Owen plant-based shake. It doesn't have quite as much protein, but it is plant-based. This is a really great protein shake. How many of you are liking the taste of this? Can I see a show of hands? Okay, great. What I really love about this nutrition shake as we keep moving forward is that it's going to help you to get that protein in that we're talking about. Let's go down here. 19 grams of protein. Can you see my screen, Connor?
Yep. Yeah, we
Okay.
can see it.
10 grams of fiber. So this is going to keep your bowels moving. It's going to keep those little villi clean. It's going to bulk up your stool and keep things moving. It's got 24 essential vitamins and minerals per serving. So this is one of the things that you can do. Tonight, Jolynn is going to a birthday party, and I told her, Jolynn Pennington, I said, take a nutrition shake before you go. So you don't go to the birthday party hungry and are tempted to eat everything in sight. You'll have more control if you take a shake before you go to this special event that's going to have lots of sweets and goodies. Okay. It's also something that you can take on the go. Like Rebecca, I saw that you went out of town for work or something. You can take, a Ziploc baggie of this shake, or you can put 2 scoops in a shaker bottle and take that along with you and then fill it with water when you get to wherever you're going. And it can be a meal replacement. We're not a meal replacement program, but we get it that people travel, they're out of town, they run out of time. And instead of grabbing something at a gas station, this is a great option to pack in your cooler, in your car, in your gym bag to have along with you because it's not only got the 19 grams of protein, which is going to help replace and repair protein after you work out. It's also got the 10 grams of fiber, so you're going to feel full. But it's also got these 24 essential vitamins and minerals. So it really can be used as a meal replacement when you're in a hurry. All right. There's no sugar added. It has a great taste. The one thing I want to show you is under the resource tab, when you go to the recipes, there's a whole recipe book. There's a whole recipe book for Go Trim Tea and Cafe, by the way. But the shaking and baking is what I want to show you. And in here, it's got some really great shake recipes, but it also has here's a protein powered granola. Now, if you're still on the meal plan where we're not using grains yet, you just want to make sure that you're not picking a recipe that has a lot of grains in it. Like this one has almond flour and oat flour. This would be good for sure and steady, but not necessarily on the phase two that we're on. This is one of my favorites at the holidays. I make this vanilla cranberry bread. It does have oats in it, but this is a super fun cranberry holiday bread. You could even use it for the 4th of July. That's a quick bread. Some of you are missing like your banana bread or your um,
Yeah.
kinds of breads. This is a really fun one. I've even made it in a cake pan, a 9x9 cake pan, and put berries on top of it. And it's really yummy, kind of like a shortbread or a shortcake or an angel food cake. These power pancakes are excellent. This one does have oats in it, but if you go back to the uh, phase two menu plan, there's one without oats in it. So when it says SS, that's sure and steady. When it says CC, that's continued commitment. Okay. And so these are when we widen the gate to some of those other programs. So here we have Fat Shredder, which is phase two. This is Dr. Nancy's Friendly Chocolate Muffins. Now, when you make these, you can eat all these muffins and still be on phase two. So 2 scoops of the nutrition shake, an egg, some unsweetened applesauce, some baking powder, and some unsweetened dark cocoa powder. And you can cook this. Let me make this a little bigger, see if you can see it better. Is that better? Yeah.
Sounds good.
And you mix these in and put them in muffin pans and bake at 400 for 12 to 14 minutes. Depending upon how big your muffin pan is, you can make mini ones or you can make regular ones. And you can eat all of these, and that would be your snack. It's 2 scoops of the nutrition shake, just like a nutrition shake snack would be. They're high protein, high fiber. I would not recommend if you double this recipe, do not eat double of it in one sitting because that's a lot of fiber for your body to take in, and you're probably going to bloat and have a tummy ache if you eat more than the 6 in the normal muffin tin, okay? Here's some blueberry muffins. These are phase two, nice as well. It's using applesauce for the sweetener, egg, some fresh squeezed orange juice. Okay. And then you're putting the blueberries in there, depending upon your size of the blueberry in each muffin after you pour them into the tin. This pumpkin spice one I've used in the fall. My kids love it. This is really good when you have an upset tummy too, because pumpkin has a tendency to calm the tummy down. I'm not a walnut fan, so I don't put the walnuts in there, but these might be something, Rob, that are nice after your surgery to just kind of tempt you back to eating again. Carrot cake muffins, cross trainer cupcakes. These are mocha brownies. Here's some championship chocolate chip cookies. So these are alternatives to your old, whatever, Betty Crocker brownies that were full of 46 grams of sugar. Here you're using the nutrition shake to sweeten it and to get the protein and the fiber in here. Here's even donuts. Jolynn, I heard you talking about the sweet roll you had at your sister's for the baby shower. You know, something like this is going to be a healthier option. Here's ice cream made with crushed ice and our some cashews and the nutrition shake, the chocolate nutrition shake, and then dark cocoa powder or cacao. Um, More, dessert type recipes. This is one that I've taken a lot in my cooler protein balls because they're high in fiber and they store well. Um, so I would encourage you to go through this. If we were meeting personally, we would have made some of these and tried some of these. But again, this is the code FS is Fat Shredder. We have one more week of that. Okay. Um, which is phase two. PH1 is phase one. That's really detox, right? RR is rapid results. SS is sure and steady. And CC is continued commitment. So these are things that I've used for, I don't know how long I've been doing this, almost 20 years now, for meals that are just great for my grandkids, healthy for me, healthy for everyone. And I don't have to feel like I'm missing out. Okay. So if you do decide, like Kelly, when you go on vacation and you want to look at some of these things, these would be great things. If you showed it to Philip and his wife, they'd probably love some of these recipes because they're very healthy eaters too. Sometimes it's amazing when you bring a nummy healthy recipe when you go visit someone, they're just excited to learn something new. So don't always think that you're like doing something that's out of the norm and other people don't, like you have the plague or something. Sometimes when you're eating healthy, it's amazing what your mind does to you. You know, when you were a heart attack walking, were people worried about you? No, they were feeding you another fry bread taco, which was building up cholesterol in your arteries and building more fat around your waist, which was causing your blood pressure to rise. So we want to take these recipes and carry them out into our daily life. Here's the Trim Tea and Trim Cafe. Let's talk about that for a minute. With spring and summer coming, you all like something refreshing to drink. And these are so fun, like when you have the girls over or you have a family over to eat. Here's a nice strawberry tea. This is using the collagen and our aloe powder and the greens powder. Tastes really yummy. And then you're going to serve over some fresh strawberries. Here's an Arnie Palmer using a packet of the trim tea with some digestive enzymes, a fresh squeeze of lemon, and some water. And it's like an Arnie Palmer is the tea with the lemon in it. Okay. Sweet summer tea and greens, hot lemon drop tea. I just like using the tea with the fiber powder, and it's a sweet tea. I serve that all the time at our family meals. But you can actually add this collagen, which is what I'm doing to try to repair my leg. Collagen is a protein, it's a peptide, it helps with skin, it helps with growing hair, it helps with growing nails. You know, if you've got any kind of repair in the gut, your leaky gut, collagen is the answer, along with the fiber powder. You can mix that with the trim tea in the morning, these three together. Has anybody ever heard about collagen before? Is that a familiar word to you? Yeah, some of you have. These daily greens, when if you're having a hard time getting all your greens in and you're going on vacation or you're tired of eating all the veggies, You might consider making a smoothie with greens. This is like sometimes they call it 7 salads in a serving. That's kind of our lingo for this. And it's got spirulina and kale. So Kelly, you wouldn't have to worry about having that stringy kale in your green drink. This is already made into a powder that you can mix in your green drink. And spirulina is super repairing and healthy. And so this is a great protein. It's got proteins in it as well as good veggies. For those of you, if you're having some digestive upset, your tummy's still not getting used to all the fiber. Remember, I've told you that you can stew, steam, stir fry your veggies. But as summer comes closer, we're eating more fresh and raw veggies. If you find yourself with having a bit of an upset tummy, I'm just going to be really honest with you. I've been on so many painkillers for my leg that my tummy has been very upset for the last 2 days. And so what I've been using is the Ultimate Aloe. I get it in a jug, but I also have it right here next to me in the powder, and I dump it in my water. And the digestive enzymes work great with food. This is a supplement you take with food and not necessarily in your isotonic cocktail. And so these little packets are nice, especially if you're going to be traveling. This will help to calm your digestive system down, calm any bloating down. It also has a probiotic in it, so it's great to build your immune system. It's really half a packet is one serving, but I don't like carrying half a packet in my purse. It always spills out. So I just use a whole packet when I do it when I'm traveling. If you were going to take this without food, you could take it later in the evening without food. And what it does is it acts as a blood cleanser. It will actually go into the blood system and it acts like a little Pac-Man and it eats up viruses and macrophages and things that shouldn't be in the blood, like if you had leaky gut and it will actually go in there. This is something we use a lot with kids who have neural development issues like autism. And when you take it without food, then it goes in and it begins to clean out the circulatory system. Okay. Um, let's see. Here's some Trim Cafe recipes. Now, Trim Tea and Trim Cafe both have the same amount of the active ingredient in it that gives you the weight loss effect. It reduces inflammation by 50%. Write that down. 50% reduction of inflammation. That's going to make your arthritis feel better. That's going to make your guts feel better. That's going to be a pain management tool. We have a product called OPC3 that clinically is proven to reduce inflammation by 52%. This is almost as powerful as OPC3 in reducing inflammation. So whether you get it in Trim Cafe or you get it in Trim Tea, when you get Trim Cafe, there's only 2 ingredients in Trim Tea and Trim Cafe. Trim Tea has that tea from the African mango in it, seed, and it has the tea in it that's put in there. The Trim Cafe has the African mango fruit tea and it has Arabica coffee ground in it. And so you're only going to get 15 packs in a Trim Cafe, whereas you get 30 packs in the Trim Tea. So the cafe is a little bit more expensive per serving because coffee is more expensive than tea. So here's like shot in the dark cappuccino. You could mix it with a Mocha Tonics cappuccino. That's a fat burning supplement we have as well. We don't talk a lot about that in this program. Christmas in a mug is something you could do as well. And this is Trim Cafe. I don't know. Has anybody here ever heard of Mocha Tonics? Raise your hand. I think Lisa Turnus probably has. Yeah. And this is a fat burning supplement as well. Just for those of you who've been around a long time, like Rob and Jolynn, they did change the B vitamin in this to the activated form. So I really do like this product, especially for people who have ADD or ADHD. If you have the kind of ADD that your prefrontal cortex is asleep, this will wake up your prefrontal cortex and you will have magnificent powers of focus when you take this. It gives you lots of energy. And if in the summer, if you're someone who's gone to a coffee shop and paid $7 or $8 for a mocha frappuccino, if you mix this chocolate mocha tonics with a vanilla Go Trim shake and ice and blend it up good. Now, if you really like the cafe or the coffee flavor, you could mix a Trim tea in there, or you could put an espresso shot of coffee in it and you could blend it up. and you would have a high-powered protein frappuccino to drink in the summer that would be very yummy. Okay, so I talked about those. Let me get out of here. Questions about Trim Tea, Trim Cafe, or the shakes?
I could see that, we're gonna be traveling this summer, and these are part of gonna be our repertoire.
Yes. And if you don't plan ahead or have a car,
Have a
you can find yourself, having to stop at a gas station, and next thing you know you're having Pizza Hut pizza. And that is going to throw a kink literally in your digestive tract and in your reducing inflammation and in getting to your goal. So these are things I do make the muffins ahead of time and take them with me when we travel. I do like the breads. I do the protein balls. Um, these are things that have helped me along the way. So back to the next thing I want to talk about is this Go Trim Slim. So some of you are great about getting out and getting some exercise, and some of you are not. And we call this exercise in a bottle. This is our slang for this supplement. This supplement has shown to improve your metabolism as if you have more muscle mass than you really actually do. Okay. So here's the little quote on it: game changer with your weight loss journey, made with clinically proven ingredients, Slendicore helps you to improve your body shape because it assists your metabolism in promoting fat breakdown without breaking down your muscle mass. So in the clinical study, it actually burned more muscle, more fuel, even at rest, as if you had more muscle mass. So just like when you walk for 10 minutes after you eat, it drives your blood glucose down. This actually increases your fat burning potential as if you had 10% more muscle mass. Um, and the ingredient is the Slendicore. There's clinical studies that show exactly how this works. It's got 900 milligrams of the patent Slendicore. So just take it like the bottle says. Somebody asked me this week, what if I took more core than it says? What if I take more Go Trim Slim than the bottle says? The clinical study is very well studied to show that taking the amount that we've put on the bottle is the way to go. Now, all of that, except for the Trim Tea and the Trim Cafe, you can take more than one of those a day. And we don't really have any clinical study to show if it increases or not, but it isn't going to hurt you. I'd rather have you take a Trim Cafe or Trim Tea iced tea than, a $4 one at Starbucks that's loaded with sugar. So here is the one study showed a 15.2% increase in your resting metabolism rate after 1 week of daily use. The resting metabolism rate helps measure how much energy the body uses when in a resting state, or the energy that is required by the body to carry out the basic functions needed for survival. So if you can increase that resting metabolism rate, this is like someone who's, we're taking your muscle mass number, and some of you increased your muscle mass during detox, which was great because muscle burns more calories throughout the day than fat, even when you're at rest. And even after you exercise, you're going to have a higher metabolic rate, burn more energy when you're even after for 2 hours after exercising. So we did a double-blind placebo-controlled study on this. 900 milligrams is the right amount to take. And what it does is it decreases your body mass index and reduces your waist to hip ratio. So a healthy waist to hip ratio is considered the leading marker of overall metabolic health. So as you continue on this journey, even if you don't have a flexible tape measure, take a piece of thread or string or yarn or a cord of some kind and wrap it around your waist at your belly button, and then mark where your waist is on that length of yarn. And then as you continue, what you want to do is shrink your waist. Dr. Daniel Amen talks about your waist size is a direct reflection of your intellectual capability and your brain size. The larger your waist, the less your brain functions well, the lower your IQ. The thinner your waist, the higher your IQ. That's a very interesting study that he has about that. So
I don't think that's true. I think that's true. Yeah.
somebody have a
Okay.
question there? I can't quite hear.
Rob here. So, um, since I can't get my cardio because I can't run or, just maybe do elliptical. So I do stretches every morning for about 45 minutes. Is that, I mean,
Yes,
is that
actually,
because I,
cardio does not help you lose weight like lifting weights does. Lifting weights actually builds muscle. So like if you can just do your upper body, triceps, lats, overheads, that when you, or even Rob, when you're sitting at your desk, if you did toe raises where you're activating your calf muscle, if you did that for 10 minutes after your meal instead of walking even, you would drive your blood glucose level down because you're activating those large muscle groups. So it's a myth that going out and running for an hour is going to um, build your resting metabolic rate. It doesn't. What builds your resting metabolic rate is lifting heavy things. So exactly what you're doing, you're using resistance bands. So that's either your body weight or the resistance of the band. Here I am in bed and I have my resistance band right here. I've been doing upper body resistance like you're talking about, Rob. So that is actually very good. Does that answer your question?
yeah, thank you. And it's your, I mean, I always, in the military, 26 years, you get your heart rate up to working rate twice a week. And then, so that's always in my mind to get up. And since I came off my AFib surgery and I take off my medication, I feel I have more energy, but I have to really work hard on the elliptical or the recumbent bike, just get my heart rate up to 120, is which where I.
So you don't really have to make a big deal.
Wait, that's just me in my culture of the military to do that, so.
Right. And there is a place, people who are endurance athletes or run or, cardio does strengthen your heart, and that's important. I'm not saying it's not. But in the weight loss and waist loss um, goals, what we want to do is pick up heavy things and put them down, or do resistance training, or, work the muscle groups with resistance. That is what builds muscle, and muscle dictates metabolism. And what all of us are trying to do is even while we're sitting on the couch, if our resting metabolism rate is higher, we will burn more calories even at rest. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. So, different objectives for different people. Obviously, when you're in the military and you have to run up a hill to save the princess, you need to have cardio, right? But there are people who are in great cardio shape and still are 50 pounds overweight, right? So cardio, and this is where we see, especially, this is a good point, Rob, as we age, sometimes we think we can do what we did when we were 20, when we're 55, and get the same results, and you cannot. There are many people who've come to this program where literally they're still working out like crazy. I think about like Amy Helgeson. She's a workout guru. Rob and Jolynn remember her. I think about people who are, they actually go to Verge and teach kickboxing or all kinds of different classes, and they still have a muffin top around their waist. And the reason can be if you're doing high intensity interval training or high cardio after menopause or menopause, you can be causing your cortisol to raise. And when your cortisol raises and stays high, your body is going to store fat around your core. So, lifting or doing resistance, Pilates, yoga, even the Abby Mills that I showed you, she does some exercises right from bed. Those are more calming your central nervous system, but still using up energy, exercising the muscle fibers. And the way muscle works is the muscle fibers, when you're exercising them, they actually get fine tears in them. And then after you exercise, the body comes with nutrients and repairs the fine tears and makes the muscle stronger. So your metabolism rises, the muscle gets stronger, but what it needs to repair those fine tears is protein, or the building blocks of proteins are actually amino acids. Okay. So this is why I've been emphasizing so much with you to make sure you get your protein in there. All right, so let's go to another supplement that we've been combining with this Go Trim Slim and seeing some pretty fantastic results for those of you who may be in the obese category. And obese is going to be over 32% body fat. All right. And I know that's just insulting to even say that word, but we just have over 68% of Americans are obese. So we got to talk about it. And that supplement is Go Trim Thin. Oops, typing in there. Okay, so Go Trim Thin is a supplement that we came out with recently that goes really well with Go Trim Slim. Now, this doesn't work necessarily on building muscle and resting metabolic rate. It actually works on a peptide. You've maybe heard a lot about peptides. Peptides are a thing that are in your gut, and it's known as the unhunger hormone. GLP-1 is a peptide, and it tells your brain when you're full, and it helps to prevent overeating, or sometimes we call this food noise. Like if you're the kind of person you get done eating and you're like, when's the next meal? What am I going to make for the next meal? I got to make sure that I have food with me. That's called food noise. Or you're sitting in a meeting and all you can think, you're sitting in church and all you can think about is lunch and how good lunch is going to take. And your mind is constantly thinking about food, even though maybe your ghrelin isn't signaling hunger hormones. Your leptin probably is low, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. That's a core supplement issue. But the GLP-1 production declines with age, as well as other factors. And Go Trim Thin helps to promote the body's production of a GLP-1. Your body makes this peptide. So there's a trend out there to take an injection or a pill or snort nasally this peptide, GLP-1. And you see a lot of people losing weight that way. But the problem with it is they don't learn how to eat and eat enough of the macronutrients, proteins, fats, carbs. They literally are going to lose all their muscle mass. And then you see these things, it's called Ozempic face, where people's faces just kind of cave in and their skin hangs off their face, or their arms get super flabby and they have no more muscle mass. So then the minute they come off that shot, if they haven't learned how to eat and sustain healthy nutrients, then the body goes right back to being over fat, not building muscle. So our goal is to teach you all how to build muscle so that your resting metabolic rate is higher, so that your metabolism ramps up and so that your blood sugar stays stable. Okay. And this product does it through this peptide. It helps the body produce more of the peptide so you feel hungry. It calms down the food noise. It helps regulate out your blood sugar. If you're still having a lot of dips and highs and lows, this could be with the chromium in it, something that could stabilize that out. This supports insulin sensitivity. Now, I sent you a long email about insulin resistance 2 weeks ago. I asked who looked at it, and a few hands raised, but not everybody. Insulin resistance is the first major cause of high blood pressure. Insulin resistance is the first major cause of high cholesterol. Insulin resistance is why you have skin tags on your neck or under your arm. Insulin resistance can be why you're not healing very quickly. Insulin resistance can be why you think you're doing everything right to lose weight, but you're not losing weight. You seem to be stuck. Insulin resistance is when we've eaten so many processed foods or such a high carbohydrate diet that as the body pumps out insulin, the cell becomes resistant for pushing. Insulin is meant to push glucose into the cell for energy. When you become resistant, now you have all this free floating glucose in the blood, and the body can't push it into the cell to be used by the mitochondria for energy. Okay. So now we just have free floating glucose in the blood, and the body keeps saying, well, send it to fat cells, send it to fat cells. We don't know what to do with all of this. It starts to damage nerve endings. This is why people get neuropathy in their hands and their feet. And maybe a diabetic, if it goes far enough, would lose a foot or have to amputate. Insulin resistance is a very sneaky thing in the American culture because we don't recognize it a lot of times. We maybe misdiagnose it as one of its symptoms, which is high blood pressure, high cholesterol, neuropathy, headaches, brain fog, tiredness. But basically, it's your mitochondria is not getting the energy it needs to produce energy for the rest of the body to do what it needs to do. So, this is one of the supplements you can take to help with insulin sensitivity. Now, we've been working very hard through detox to clean out the liver, to not overeat, to eat the best foods possible to break the back of insulin resistance. Okay. It also helps with appetite. It helps with this ATP production, which is energy production. The mitochondria gets healthier when you're on this. Inflammation reduces because it's got antioxidant activity. This is a pretty amazing product to take, and you can read more about it in here. We could talk a lot about short chain fatty acids, but I feel like I'm getting a little too sciencey for everybody. But if you are a sciencey person, you can read further in here about this and the actual supplement tribiome that's in there, and the lemon fruit extract, the white mulberry, and but I love what's in here is saffron. I have to talk about this really quickly. Postmenopausal women, which most of you in the room are, have a tendency as you age, because of your hormone decline, sometimes just feel malaise or brain fog or low energy, or get up in the morning and you're just like, I don't have the zip or the drive I used to. Saffron will give that back to you. Saffron is known as the antidepressant extract. If you look up Dr. Daniel Amen of the Amen Clinics, he has a happy saffron extract. This product also meets that criteria. It's the trademarked saffron, and it will lift your mood. It will give you better drive. It will make you feel like, oh, the world has color again. No, I'm not a man and I can't speak to menopause, but I know as testosterone drops, I clinically know that men can have this experience as well. And this saffron is a pretty magical herb that can really help with lifting the mood, lifting the focus, and giving you your drive back. So that is, I'm super happy that Dr. Deidre Mason put that in here because I feel like many times as a more mature aged person, that's the key that really then makes you continue to work at your goals and continue to take your supplements like you should because it is getting you to your goal. Okay. All right. A lot about Go Trim Thin. Any questions about that? If you are on a GLP-1 shot or pill, this you can take this in addition. It causes the GLP-1 peptide to last longer in your tummy. If you're someone who's coming off a shot or a pill, this is a great way to come off it and not gain your weight back. If you're someone who's considered going on one, I would do this first. It's way cheaper. We're talking like $2 a day versus $1,000 a month. So this is a good option. Okay, now I want to go to core, I think. And so this is the one that you all have, and you should almost be running out now when we get to 4 weeks. If you're taking it correctly, you will be out. This supplement works on leptin. Leptin is the hormone that says, I'm full. Many times in the American diet, because we've overeaten carbohydrates, we just never feel full. And when leptin begins to flood over the brain in an excessive amount, our full leptin sensors literally become resistant and they don't sense satiety. It's called leptin resistance. And when that happens, this is where this food noise comes from too. So core will actually turn back on the leptin sensors and you will feel full. So some of you have said to me, Pam, I can't eat all this food. Well, that's because for the very first time in a long time, your leptin sensors are firing and saying, we're full, stop eating. And this is a great supplement. We call it core because it's a core value of this program because so many people have messed up their leptin and ghrelin sensitivity and they never really truly feel full. What is the sensation of full? My tummy feels full. It's not growling. my mind is not foggy and doesn't have like lack of glucose. Sometimes when you get hungry, you can't think straight. You repeat yourself. You miss words. Um, it has chromium in it to keep sustain blood sugar as well if you've been an up and down blood sugar person. Now, some of you, I know it's been hard to take it at the exact right time. If you're an A+ student, you take it 40 to 50 minutes before you eat, but it has so many great things about it that even if you start to eat, take it then. Or even if you just finished eating, you're like, oh, forgot the core, take it then. If you're if you're at your goal, this would be a supplement I would keep on the shelf for when you're going to the baby shower, when you're going to visit the relatives. Take this core before you go because it tells your body use the carbohydrates or lose them. Do not store them as adipose tissue around my middle. Okay. It reduces body fat stores and it works to inhibit an enzyme in your body, amylase, that breaks down carbohydrates. So when that amylase is inhibited, you're not going to break the carbohydrates down so fast and turn it into fat cells. Okay. There's a really great article on how this works that was done by Dr. Nancy Miller-Ely. And I believe we can find it in the resource tab. It's still in here, but there's more to read here. I'm not going to get too far into that science, but what I think is fascinating, if I go here, I think it's going to give me a Dr. Nancy Core article. Let's see if it's still here. Oh, they might have taken it out. That will make me unhappy if they took it out. I will email it to you. Um, I bet I can give me 1 second. I might be able to pull it up in my files. I think it's worth taking 1 second. Anybody have any questions while I'm searching for this in my file? How's the core going down for everyone?
Two, I know, but all these gold trim products, you should probably be taking all three of them. You should find the one that fits you the best.
No, actually, you can take all four of them at the same time. They work from different mechanisms. And if, you take the quiz or you see yourself in there, absolutely, you could take all four of them. The chromium that you have in them actually will not be too much. They're meant to be synergistic with each other. It can be done all together. I don't want to create a PDF. Stop that. Um, Okay, so
Taking
here's
it twice a day.
Well,
four,
before the two biggest meals.
two twice a day, and optimally it'd be before your two largest meals. But if you forget, just take it because I'm going to show you in a minute here. It has great heart health benefits. It has great hormone balancing benefits. I actually pulled up a full PowerPoint from Dr. Nancy instead of just the article I wanted. It also raises your serotonin by 28%. So when you raise your serotonin by 28%, you're going to be happier. You're going to make better decisions. This is one that Val uses at the clinic. People are trying to come off under supervision. People are trying to come off a um, antidepressant because serotonin uptake, an SSRI, pools serotonin. This actually generates more serotonin. Okay, let's see if I can make this work. I've got it right here. Core. Yep, it works great for lifting serotonin. So if you have a serotonin deficiency, which sometimes can be diagnosed as depression, if Val was here, I would have her talk about it, but since she's not, I'm going to go out on limb and talk about it. Okay, so I want to stop sharing and then I need to start sharing again. Give me 1 second. Pulling the right screen up sometimes is challenging on Zoom. Share. Okay, here is her article. Can you see this? Let me see if I can blow this up a little bigger. Is my screen share sharing this slide?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the article. I want to blow it up big. This gives
There's
me,
a magnifying glass in the bottom right.
Right hand for.
oh, it's behind everybody. That's why I can't find it. I've got your pictures there. Thank you. Okay, just slide down a little bit. Why are we stuck? There we go. Did she put that? Okay. Oh my goodness, please, in the name of Jesus. Nope. Come on. There it goes. Okay, this is a little hard to read. Let's see if I can blow it up just a little bit more as the next one. Yep. Let's see if I can pull it up a little bit. Oh, move. There we go. Okay. So this article, you can see she made a beautiful graph, weight loss, and this was with people who use two twice a day without changing their diet. They lost 5.4% of their weight. Now, these were people who were 210 pounds and above. So on the average, they lost 11 pounds without changing anything else, just taking this supplement. All right. Their waist circumference went down 1.8 inches or 4.4%. Okay. Their total cholesterol. So if you're trying to lower your lousy cholesterol, I've also used this for people who are trying to lower their cholesterol, lowers your overall cholesterol 18%. It lowers your lousy cholesterol 14.7%, but it raises your good cholesterol. So if cholesterol is an issue, this is a great supplement for you to be using. It lowers your triglycerides by 7%, right? So that would be 14 points if you had a triglyceride of 200. That's a major factor. Oh, and it cuts this off. Lord Jesus. It lowers your hip circumference, it says here, your blood fasting glucose. If your A1C is off, it helps with that. This serum serotonin raises serotonin by 28%, and it lowers your C-reactive proteins, which is your inflammation marker. If you've had a blood test for your C-reactive proteins, that's your inflammation marker. So I will get a copy of that and send it. I'm sorry I did not have it pulled up ahead of time. I don't know why I can't find it on the GoTrim site, but it is on the GoTrim site. I just can't seem to locate it at the moment. So share again. So Core is a really great supplement, and that's why we all started with it. If you're not at your goal, I would stay with that. If you're finding that you're at your goal and you're trying to just have something in store for when you go to special occasions, that is one thing I would use before you go out to eat, before you go to special occasion. The last one, oh, I wanted to talk about Axe. I'm going to do really quick thermochrome.
Yeah.
Does anybody here take thermochrome?
Pam,
Yep.
one quick question on reducing cholesterol with the core. And how much time do you give it before you start to see your cholesterol go down?
Three
Get a
months.
doctor, what's that?
3 months.
Three
And if
months to see
you're,
that?
yep, and if you're up above 250 in your cholesterol, your total cholesterol, I would do core with trim tea. I put my brother Randy on core and trim tea, and he dropped his cholesterol 60 points overall. And I put Earl on it, and he dropped his cholesterol 50 points overall in 3 months.
That's what I need.
So, and understand your cholesterol is a direct correlation to insulin resistance. It's a direct correlation to how your body uses glucose. It's how your body uses calcium in your body. So if you're taking a calcium supplement, which I know you, Jolynn and Rob are, you want to make sure you're getting enough vitamin D on board. I would also, if you were trying to really lower it like more than 50 points, I would do a higher dose vitamin D. I would go on 2 capsules a day, like maybe one in the morning, one at night, or maybe every other day, adding in an extra capful of vitamin D, because that's going to force the calcium into the cells to be used for bone and teeth instead of being in the artery clogging. If you've had a calcium scoring test, anyone, that talks about arterial blockage. A calcium scoring is how much blockage do you have in the arteries. You can ask for that test. That would be an indicator of that you're not using your calcium sufficiently. It's actually laying as plaque inside your arteries. And that will drive your blood pressure up. That will drive your cholesterol number up. So vitamin D is a huge piece of that puzzle, and so is magnesium. I could send
Is
you a,
that
go ahead.
the same as a cardiac scoring test? The
Nope,
calcium?
nope, it's
Okay.
called calcium scoring test. I don't know what a cardiac score scoring test is. I've never heard of that.
Right.
You can call, have your doctor give you a prescription. You can call St. A's and they'll get you in for one and you can pay cash for it. It's, I don't know, it's not too expensive. It's not even $200 and you can see how is your blood flowing through your arteries. Okay, that was a lot of information. If you're really into cholesterol, Rob, there's a The Great Cholesterol Myth is a wonderful book that goes into great detail about cholesterol. We actually need some cholesterol because our brain uses it for fuel. I'll give you my own personal example. My mother was on a statin drug for probably 2 decades. And when I started taking over some of her care, I went to her doctor and said, "Why is she on this statin? Her cholesterol, her overall cholesterol was 110." I said, "In my book, that's too low, and she's going to start having memory problems." And he just would not listen to me. And I took her off the statin. And to her dying day, she had great memory, and her cholesterol did not rise um, above that because she was taking great isotonics. She was eating well. She died at 89, unfortunately, from being a smoker and having lung cancer. But we were able we were able with our vitamin D and calcium to get her out of osteoporosis back osteopenia to not osteo anything. We were able to keep her cholesterol at 150. I felt much better at that than 110. And her mind was good all the way to the end. If you get your cholesterol too low, there's a lot of research out there that talks about this is why they believe we're having such an Alzheimer's and dementia epidemic is because we're driving cholesterol too low. Of course, you don't want it to be huge high either, Rob. At 300, you could have a stroke, right? You could have blockage in your arteries. So it is one of those things you have to balance, and you've got to find the right um, balance with it. So the great cholesterol
Yeah,
myth.
just one comment. You know, when you go to the doctor, they ask you, what are you taking supplements? You list all of them. They have no idea what they do.
That's
I mean,
correct.
and I mean, it's just.
What they are.
Or what they are.
Yeah,
and
yeah, or
it's
it's like, what's, what's that? Look at the OPC, they kind of know it's an antioxidant.
Well, in Bismarck, it's getting better because we have such a influence into the medical community right now after 20 years of hammering them with it. That's why the division of nutrimetrics is so important. I know sometimes you think we're saturated, Rob, but until every physician knows what isotonic capable supplements are, I don't believe we're saturated. And I continue to beat the drum. And I do run into physicians now who are like, "Oh, OPC3, that's really good. Oh, isotonics, keep taking that." When I went in for my surgery for my leg, I listed my isotonics on there and they're like, "I've heard of that before." And then the nurse came in to prep me for surgery and she goes, "For your age, I never see women that are not on any kind of uh, pharmaceutical. You are an anomaly." And I said, "Well, you probably just hang around the wrong people." So I just think that, we're trying to make an impact. That's why this company is so important. That's why Nutrimetrics is so important. We're fighting so hard to get this information out there. And I do think we're turning the tide. Um, there are doctors, DOs, chiros, naturopaths, even IV nurses, NP, PAs that are much more open to nutrition therapy than ever before because of social media. I mean, Gary Brecka, Daniel Pompa, Dr. Daniel Amen, Dr. Mark Hyman, the whole Maha movement led by Bobby Kennedy Jr. I think we're pressing in, realizing more and more that food is your medicine and that when you don't have good food, you need to supplement. And we don't have good food in the United States. We have a very low birth rate. We have a high, I mean, we are, when you look across the board, as far as healthcare, we are the highest spending nation in the world on healthcare. And our death rates and our rate of health is about, last time I looked, 15th in the world. We're lower than some third world nations. And you could go into, well, that's they don't keep track or whatever. The death rate is pretty well kept track of in most nations because um, I can send you a whole TED talk on that. I'm going down a rabbit hole, Rob, and I got to get back on track here. So,
Yes.
Just minutes a comment.
All right, so Go Trim Thermochrome. This is not one I use. It causes me to be jittery because I'm not a caffeine drinker. But I'm going to tell you, my friend Julie Lancito thrives, lives, takes this 3 times a day. I know Jolyn Pennington is taking it and it's working really well for her. As we age, if your metabolism really tanks, this is a great supplement to rev up your metabolism. It's the only supplement I've talked about so far that has a stimulant in it. And that stimulant is like caffeine. If you're trying to get off coffee, this is a great supplement to take to get you the energy burn. This absolutely helps burn body fat. If you're stuck in a plateau, this is the supplement for you. This is the one I would not say, do not take it like it says on the bottle, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. I would start with one and see how it works for you. I do know this is another supplement that if you have a slow prefrontal cortex and that causes you to be ADHD or slow processing or brain foggy, this will absolutely wake up the prefrontal cortex and you will be sharp. Questions about this one?
So if you're
Go ahead.
trying to get off caffeine, you take this one?
Yeah, because this will replace your coffee. I've had numerous teachers come to me, Jolynn, and say, I take a caffeine pill just to get through the day. And I say, that is really hard on your body. How about if we switch over to this thermochrome? It's got some better things in it. I like that it's got vitamin C in it, so it doesn't max out your adrenal glands. It protects your adrenal glands. I like that it's got the green tea extract. This is a super high powered antioxidant. This Capsamax, some people are sensitive to that. I am. It's got a B vitamin in it. It's got chromium to balance blood sugar. It's got theobromine in it, which is the stimulant from a cacao bean. It's got yerba mate to protect your brain. It's got L-tyrosine. This is great for menopausal women. And it's got ginger root. This is great for weight loss and brain stimulation. So this is a great supplement. I don't mean to diss it. I just can't take it because I can't do caffeine. But if you're like a 2 pot of coffee a day person, this is the supplement for you. Or if you're stuck, just can't get the weight off, this is pretty phenomenal. I mean, in a month, you would see a huge difference. And this is something you can take one day and not take the next. You can take this as a pre-workout. It gives you a great burn. Um, Anybody here taking it? Lisa Turnus, have you ever taken that?
Like yeah.
And you like it because,
I don't do it every day, but the energy piece, and I think it helps with brain fog too,
yep, definitely.
especially when I first started taking it.
Uh-huh.
How
I'm
does it
telling
come? Oh, go ahead.
it's like an energy drink, only it's healthy. And I've
Mhm.
seen people who have pretty severe ADHD take this, and all of a sudden they are tracking, they are not lacked focus, they are spot on.
That's interesting.
Hmm. Okay,
So how
so
good if you're trying to get off of caffeine when you take that? So like I've switched to the tea these last 2, 3 weeks and the tea, and that's really, I mean, I'm fine. I'm not even craving coffee anymore.
great. So the
So,
tea can have more health benefits than the thermochrome. The tea is going to reduce Jolene's inflammation by 50%. It's going to act on balancing her hormones. It's
and I
going to
need
keep her blood sugar stable. I mean, there are people that do the tea and the thermochrome. It's all about your goal, Jolene. So thermochrome's not going to give you the crash that coffee gave you. When people drink coffee because they need to get awake, a lot of people I know who have adrenal fatigue drink coffee by the gallon to try to wake up. And that makes your pH super acidic. It causes your adrenals to be overramped. It's hard on you. And so I take those 2 pot of coffee people and put them on thermochrome and they feel better. They're more alert. They don't have the crash. They don't have the acid reflux. But if the trim tea is doing it for you, in my book, that has way less negative side effects and more positive side effects.
and
But that's
I drink not that much coffee, but it was always decaf because of my hot flashes. So
yeah.
I was already on decaf. So the going into the trim just was the night. I'm finding I like this. This is working.
Well, and these
And
probably more information than some of you want to know, but if it's your problem, you do want to know it. As you age, as your estrogen decreases, you can have like tendonitis in your hips and knees. As you age, your estrogen decreases, you can have pelvic floor problems and incontinent problems. And carbonation and caffeine are going to not only drive hot flashes, they're going to drive, unfortunately, that kind of tendonitis, hip ache, knee ache. They're going to drive incontinence. It'll cause your bladder to be twitchy. You could have urge incontinence or um, what's the other one? I can't think of the name of it right now. But if you take trim tea versus thermochrome, you're going to have less of that push that caffeine can cause in postmenopause. Okay, so now that we've talked about the stressful things of growing old, this supplement is probably my favorite of all the supplements in the Go Trim line because it reduces stress. And I think we all have stress. This is called ACTS because it's adrenal cortisol thyroid stress support formula. And we will talk more about this when we talk about sleep. But you can take this at night before you go to bed. It helps you sleep. You can take it in the morning because it will even out your JAGs. So it's an adaptogen. If when you get stressed, you're like, "Ee," it will bring you down. If when you get stressed, you go in your room and you lock the door and you don't come out, it will bring you up. So it will work both ways. And this one only has one thing that is a contraindicator. If you have Graves' disease, you should not take this. That's when your thyroid is ramped up and going too fast. Those of you who have it know what you have. Um, it helps lower cortisol. So it's going to reduce belly fat because when cortisol's high, you store food in belly fat, no matter how clean you eat. Got to get that cortisol under control. Cortisol should be high in the morning when you wake up, makes it easy to get out of bed. Then it kind of drops and dips throughout the day. And by the time you go to bed, it should drop way off. And if it doesn't drop way off, you can't sleep. You're wired but tired. It's great for your thyroid because it has some iodine in it. And it's great for stress because it has that L-theanine in it. Again, a great, if we went through all the ingredients, I could go way deep into this one, but it is my absolute favorite. Every doctor I've taken this to for different reasons, they're like, this is a really great formulation. This holy basil, the L-theanine, the passion flower extract. You can read more about it here. But this is the bomb for stress, but it needs to be taken with activated B complex, which is in your daily essentials. So if you're going to take and spend the money on this, make sure that you're also in that day taking activated B complex because the two really work synergistically together. It will take you off the edge. This is something you can take just on the day you're taking the test or your in-laws are coming to town, or you can take it every single day. Or like when my house flooded out and I couldn't live here for 3 months, I took it 3 times a day. You can take up to six a day, but the bottle says two a day. And I think you will really notice a difference if you take it if you have stress. Okay, these are all things that you can do to support your metabolism, your weight loss, your muscle mass gain, your um, your journey going forward with the challenges you have coming up. If you, when you get stressed, you're a stress eater, I would strongly recommend Axe, not thermochrome. If you're someone who's just out of energy, your brain's not working, you're slug a bug, and your metabolism's not moving, I would suggest thermochrome. But if you have any questions at all, go out to the weight loss profile quiz and take it again because things have changed in the last 3 weeks, how you're responding to food. Now, at week 3 is when the newness wears off, and this is no longer maybe a fun journey. This is where discipline kicks in. This is where maybe you were motivated before because you wrote your dream board and Pam was a great motivational speaker, or you came here with your friend or your wife or your husband and you're just having fun. Now you're like, I'm tired of all those vegetables. I feel like a drowned rat because I'm drinking all that water. And some of you are like, food is not fun anymore because you were an adventure eater. Now, those of you who are rut eaters, you like to get in a rut and eat the same thing. Dave Skalisky ate Cheerios for breakfast every day for 20 years. He'd set it out the night before and he'd eat it for breakfast, and it was his go-to food. It's such a terrible food, but whatever. If you're a rut eater, I just want to caution you, you've got to mix it up some, or you could create a food sensitivity. If you're an adventure eater, you have got to dig into that recipe book. You've got to start trying vegetables you've never tried before. You've got to try some spices that maybe you've never tried before. And you've got to be more brave in trying some foods that perhaps were never a piece of your puzzle. I just want to give a shout out to Kelly Ryer. She has done such an awesome job and getting her vegetables in and mixing up what she's making and really being a great cook. If you see her food journal, you can take notes from her. I think Rebecca's had some great ideas with, sauerkraut and banana peppers and, mixing it up with some cayenne pepper here and there, or just getting more spice in there. Um, but make sure you're mixing up your vegetables, you're mixing up your fruit. Don't just stick to the same one all the time. And for those of you who are going to go on vacation, Kelly, or have something going on, I've already said this before, but if you want to add grass-fed organic beef twice a week into your mix, that's okay. It will make your liver work harder. It's a little harder to clean and process, but it is very filling, and some of you just want it back. So that would be one food I would add back in. I would not add back in the fine processed grains yet. Give yourself another week. I would not add back in any even alternative sweeteners. I would not add back in starches like potatoes yet. I noticed that Kelly, you had done a great job putting some lentils in your chili. That's a high protein bean, and you can see on the vegetarian chart, there are some things in that vegetarian chart maybe you want to try. You've never tried them before. So dig into gotrim.com, look up the recipes. Jolene, you could have that sent to flash printing and they could put a binder on it and a cover on the back and the front. And, it'd be just like a textbook for you. What's that, Kelly?
Yeah.
I said, or bring it to Kelly. She can do it too. That's what I did. They're all in
Okay,
the binder.
there you go.
I
You guys
have all the
pay
binder
Kelly a
too.
bucker to do
Oh
it.
my-
But this is the time where discipline's going to run the day and you're getting into a habit. Now, when you go to the grocery store, you see someone else's cart, you go, huh, look how they eat. I used to eat like that. And it really does make a difference. You are fighting for your legacy, for you to be around longer for your grandkids, for you to be around longer for yourself, to do the things you want to do, to have more energy, to have more vibrancy. You are worth it. And if it does cost you a little bit more because you don't have the time to chop up your own carrots or chop up your own broccoli, or go to the store and buy it pre-chopped, but do not buy it pre-processed. Don't buy carrot juice. Get matchstick carrots, get whole carrots. Don't, get some green drink that's sitting at the gas store because it's probably got sugar and more fruit in it than it does vegetables. When you make smoothies, more veggies than fruit, more protein than fruit. Because fruit processed, ground up, mashed up, put through a juicer is going to be straight glucose into your system. Orange juice is terrible for you, but an orange is great. Okay. So keep journaling, keep sending them to me. You're not bothering me. It's just that some nights I have to go to bed early because of my painkillers, and it takes me till the next day to look at your journals and keep after it. You're worth it. I know you have some extenuating circumstances coming up. I'm sorry that the 7-day detoxes have not come in yet. They pushed it back to the 24th for shipping again. But when it does come in, you can replace ours, or Lisa Turnus, you can get started on yours. Any questions?
What about
Kelly.
a juice? I actually have one, haven't used it for years, a juicer, juicing things. Not now.
Nope.
'Cause that's what I was thinking. It would raise, like, we did a lot, we used to do a lot of carrots, but then you got almost concentrated.
And now you've got a high glycemic drink. It seems like it's healthy, but it's not. I would definitely, now, if you want to blend some spinach in with your smoothie, that's great. And I like to, when you know how spinach comes in a container and is starting, you're like, oh, I've had it for 3 days. It's going to start to get bad. I don't want to throw it away. I just throw it right in the freezer, in the container it's in. And then I take it out of the freezer and throw it into a smoothie, and it just shatters. Now, that is not highly processed. That is blended instead of juiced. So, a blended pulverized spinach is going to be lower glycemic than a juiced spinach. Okay. Don't get taken in by that marketing. You can look on the back, and when you see 42 grams of sugar in a juiced drink, that is high glycemic.
If I could just give a quick, you know, what's happening, because I'd like your success stories.
You just make up.
I still have bloating, but I feel I have much more energy. And one thing that's happening is that I'm doing that 12 to 14. I was intermittent, you know,
Yep,
the
12 to
18
14.
hours. And, but I don't crave any snacks in the evening. I don't crave anything. You know,
Getting that protein.
I mean, they gave me protein, and I don't have a taste for coffee, but that happened after my colon resection. I woke up the next morning and just that was gone overnight. Don't get a colon resection to get rid of coffee.
Yeah, please.
But this is probably gonna, this summer, we're gonna be traveling. That's usually when just a lot of things and at higher altitudes, more water, but you know, this is just a great reminder and
But
so,
hey,
but the thing that I'll, you know, I'm going to surgery for hernia next week, but they wanted to have me off all of my supplements, everything, but they don't know what's in.
Right.
And so it really tell me then, here's the thing I have a question on, if my bloating goes down after being off all this, the supplements I'm on, what does that tell me then?
Well, I'm telling
mean-
you that your bloating is high too, because think about how much inflammation you have in your gut because of your hernia, right? The hernia
Well,
is your intestine
I don't know,
pushing.
I'm thinking that's what's causing it.
Right. So your hernia is pushing through your intestinal wall. That's the definition of most hernias. And it's causing a massive amount of inflammation. And Rob, you have the advantage of knowing you did take a food sensitivity test and you knew which foods were more propensity for high inflammation. Okay.
And I retook it, and I haven't got the results yet, so I want to compare the two. So,
Okay. That can change. So I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, higher fiber, as you ramp your fiber back up, that can cause gas and bloating. So you want to ramp that up slowly after your intestine gets fixed, your hernia gets fixed. I mean, they're literally going in there and messing with your digestive tract, Rob. So you're going to have to be very careful. You know, use a lot of aloe juice to heal the scarring, bromelain, lots of liquids. I'm not a doctor, so I shouldn't be telling you all this, but follow their orders, what they tell you to do, so that that intestine, that tract, that pipe can heal up. Okay.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you have reduced inflammation off all your supplements or a reduced bloating, I'm going to tell you, I really believe part of the problem is the bloating from the hernia, could be the fiber, could be a food sensitivity, it could be a lot of things, but
Yeah.
the things that I know it's not, OPC3 reduces inflammation clinically by 52%. You know, I would get back on that as soon as you can when they say you can, but it also makes the blood more slippery, Rob. So this is why they wanted you to come off all their supplements because they don't know
Right.
which ones like omega-3s and OPC3 and astaxanthin make your blood more slippery, and they don't want you to bleed more during the surgery. Like,
I understand.
I don't know if you can see this, but where they stuck me with the IV thing, I mean, like
Yeah.
a week later, I am still like all black and blue because I do have blood that runs very fluidly through my system, but that also means that my arteries are super flexible. So I don't
Sure.
have high blood pressure. I don't have high calcification in my arteries. They're very, you want your arteries to be super flexible, right? So
Anyway,
that's why he told you to come off all the supplements because he doesn't want you to bleed out. He doesn't want you to be a bleeder. And he knows some supplements do cause that, like omega-3s and OPC3. Absolutely. So, we'll have to be a little bit more of a detective, keep track of that. And then
yeah,
after you have the surgery, keep track as we put things back in. Usually that's one of the benefits of doing this detox is we've really almost done a food map diet where we've reduced the things we're eating. And as we slowly add them back in, you can see which things cause major inflammation.
and that's, for me, that's the timing that's worked out great. So, thank you, Pam.
but OPC, I mean, if he's always had a lot of inflammation, it wouldn't hurt to double our intake. I mean, he takes I mean. No. Or
And
no.
two things. So OPC has an affinity for collagen. It does heal tissue beautifully. It's why your complexion gets more beautiful when you take OPC. Your arteries get more flexible. It does so many good things. If you read on the site about OPC3, it's just an amazing supplement. Maybe I can put a link in there in the next email to you all about that. But it does cause that blood to flow easier. So if they want you to be careful, like not take a baby aspirin or not take a blood thinner for a certain amount of days after your hernia surgery, would not take OPC3 right away. But within a week, I would think you should be able to get back on it. But I also wouldn't take fish oil. So as soon as he tells you you can have fish oil, you can take OPC3. They do the same thing.
Well, I'll keep you all posted.
Yeah. You can text me. I just have to be very careful that I don't countermand anything your doctor says, Rob. So his word is always more golden than mine. Um, okay. Any other questions? Super.
Thank you.
Get better. Take care, Pam.
Yeah, thank you. My pain is much less, but because my body's not used to taking pharmaceuticals, my stomach is very unhappy with the painkillers. So I'm done with those.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good week. I'll see you next week. Or if you aren't here, ask Val or Connor for the recording and we can get it emailed to you.
Thank you.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.